And we are back with another episode of You Can't Handle the Truth podcast. This week, we recap week 6 fantasy football. Let's go. The 7 and 8 team played last week. This is week 6. It was Hawk Smash versus Freedom Fighters. 132.88 to 173.65. I figured I'd change it up a little bit and start Jalen Hurts. Well, you know what? That came back to bite me because that lost. I should have put Prescott in. He got me 65 points, but would have been a lot closer if I would have done that. And then everybody else on my team kind of sucked it up. Even the bench did. And my defense stepped up, 38 points. That's pretty good. I should have, good thing I played them instead. And then on Rodgers' side, Mayfield, he didn't do too well. Henry, of course, he's a consistent producer. Every week in and week out, he produces. And it's surprising, Indianapolis got 30 points. Let's see, Mike Davis was on bye for my week, for my team. Kill was on bye, but he's on IR anyway. David Montgomery, he's on IR. Allen Robinson, questionable. And I just picked up Landry because he come off the IR. My defense, they didn't do too well. So that's that week, or that game. Next game, let's see. That's okay. Hang on a minute. Trying to figure this out. I got this. And here we are. Looking at the 5. Might be tied this place. Maybe. Anyway. This is Howie Jelly and Belichick yourself. 240 to 151. Josh Allen balled out. Lamb balled out. Mixon, of course, balled out. The guy I dropped last. I didn't retain him. I should have, but oh well, that's my fault. Kicker for Andy, 29 points. Joe Burrow. Man, Andy's team seems to be doing pretty good. And then Charlie's team. Let's see, go through this team. There's no real surprises there, except Kirk. He got 23.5 points, but I mean that's cool. It just seems like it's in a up and down year this year for the fantasy football. I don't think there's really. I mean, if you're gonna go by numbers, I would think that a real heavy favorite is Monsters of the IFL. And that's not because he's my brother or anything, but because he has a pretty consistent team. He only has one loss. And so, yeah, I know it can change week to week. But I know there was a game last night, but more about that. I need to get on Baldo and get these done either Tuesday or Wednesday because I think Friday is waiting too long, but that's okay. We'll go from there. Anyway, another matchup was Who Do You Think You Are? 148 to Air Blair Noah, 160.83. And there's really no surprises there because he is pretty good. His players are performing pretty well, pretty consistently. Balin, looks like Jacob should have played him. He got 50 points. Williams only got 4.70, so he should have played him. And then Gesicki, I think his name was tied in, got 32. Waller only got 10, so that would have been a lot closer game. But we go by numbers, and that's what happens. So we can't always go by numbers. And my next matchup is six seed versus a 4 seed. BB Ballers versus Rough Riders. There's a 10-point edge there, with Brandy coming out on top. Tom Brady, 47. He's pretty consistent. Even with one of Brandy's players on IR, she still won. That's crazy. Crazy how that happens. Look at these other teams. Stafford, he's pretty consistent. Cooper Kupp, sometimes he plays good, and sometimes in other games he didn't. I know against me he played real well. Nothing I could do about that. His defense sucked. 2.30. Was supposed to get 21.98. Next we have Monsters IFL versus the Zeke Squad, which is a pretty close game. Matt was lucky to come out on top of this one. Lockett didn't perform well. Kareem Hunt's on the IR. He did pretty well. Trevor Lawrence, he did okay. But Patrick Mahomes is probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I would say probably the best. Taylor really balled out, 43 points. I don't know. It's just like I said, this year. I mean, if you go by numbers, Matt's in first place, 5-1, followed by Noah Blair, 5-1. So they're just tied for first, and then Jacob, Lynn, Andy, Brandy, Roger, me. I'm in 8th place. Roger's ahead of me. And then you got Bill Check Yourself, and then the Zeke Squad. And but as long as if you get the 8th spot, you're good to go, because you could always win the whole thing. The 8th spot, that is. And yeah, just remember, everybody set your lineups and everything, and set your lineups, and good luck this week. I know yesterday started the week 7, but that's okay. Week 7 matchups. See, I'm supposed to. Right now, it has me. Has me gonna win. It's crazy. But he has a lot of players. Some of them didn't show up, like Nick Font didn't show up. I have a guy on bye. Quite a few players on IR. Defense, no. So this week's matchups is 8-5 versus 5 seed. Me versus Andy, 7 seed. Roger versus the Zeke Squad. Then who do you think you are versus Bill Check Yourself. Air Blair versus BB Ballers. Monsters of the IFL versus Rough Riders. Looks like that's going to be a close game. Yeah, that's going to be a real close game. Just like I said, remember each week, do you remember to set your teams and roster and everything? And like I said, I will try to get better on here to be more consistent. Right now, I'm live right now. If anybody wants to join me, I doubt there's anybody joining me because they don't follow me. So, but let's see if nope. But anyway, like I said, I hope everybody has an awesome day today. Keep on keeping on. Keep God first, and everything else will fall into place. Remember to set your lineups and keep them steady. Watch your lineups and everything. And I guess I will talk to you later. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll do this again next week. All right, let's go. See you later. Bye.